time of the week again. Sit back, relax, we got the brain of band. No need to stress in the house, it's Van Bellen. The game is windsurfing, you can't yell them or tell them. We get the news, the views, the win biz. The brand's gear, just plus the world's best quiz. The Cubs, PWA. We're professionals without the pay. There's nothing in pole dancing that we won't chat. From tandem boards to a windsurfing cat. It's your one-stop shop for a laugh and listen. Tune in each week or you'll be doing the missing.
All right, here we are again.
We did have 0 people watching at one point. Then we lost people. I think we had minus, but we do have 6 people watching right now. You lucky people.
Oh, yeah.
What has been going on in Maui? This is just a quick update. We're going to, I keep saying this every time, but we're going to try 10 to 15 minutes. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Let's
the
see.
Pressure.
I don't know. Let's see. Kona wins. That's what we had in Maui. We talked about it. We were saying, are they going to compete? They didn't compete. But look, some of the pictures. I know pictures don't tell the whole story. But this is Ricardo Campello on that lanes. He said a quick session. Looks epic.
Looks super sick. Yeah. Almost makes you wonder, could they have competed? But yeah.
Look at that.
Bit tricky. So, yeah, so sick, isn't it?
That's freaking crazy.
So sick. Yeah, yeah.
I'm guessing it was light. It was very setty, I'm hearing. So they obviously didn't compete. So if you didn't tune in yesterday, Aloha Classic has started. The waiting period is on. We've got head judge Duncan Coombs over there making decisions. They have just done the draw. So we're going to go and have a look at the draw, see if there's any depth heats, see if we could see. We're going to see upsets. I tell you, when you look at that draw, which you'll do in a minute, you're going to go, there's people everywhere, like booby traps for the top guys. So that's really interesting. And also the women as well. We're going to go into that. First, I think we should just have a look at the forecast. If you want to do, I'll just chunk that in.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Please.
Interesting, I tell you now. So this is
I'm glad you're organized.
Very organized. I might just refresh it in case I haven't refreshed it. But this is the way the forecast looking at the moment. Now, that to your normal person looks terrible. It looked terrible to me. But then I spoke to Mr. Graham Ezzy, and I will translate what he said to me. I'll translate it. I'll read you what he said to me. So I'm like, oh, it doesn't look very good. And he goes, looks fine. Smallish, but fine. He said, and then just to kind of work out this forecast. So this is like a little rundown of how Maui works. So if you're looking at that forecast, just bear these things in mind. East is more offshore than you would like, but northeast can be kind of onshore. So that just says it's such a small window of when it's perfect. North is bad, so you don't want north wind. East can work. Northeast east is the sweet spot. Northeast east is the sweet spot, but east wind can be stronger than forecast.
Okay.
Northerly, most not. So northerly doesn't work. Even southeast is okay. Those are the really offshore days.
Do we have an idea of how accurate the numbers are here compared to what you actually get at a keeper, or
that will be enough? From what he's saying, I mean, that I'm guessing those 1-star days are enough. And even what did he say? If it's east days can get windy, did he say? See, I've already lost them.
Yeah.
East winds can be stronger than forecasted.
Okay,
so
so looking at this Saturday, what is probably going to be first day then? Is that what we're thinking?
Well, in theory, Wednesday says light. Are they on Wednesday now, or are they on day behind us? That's what we should.
What's the time over there right now? It's nighttime Tuesday night there.
Yeah. So in theory, it doesn't look good tomorrow, but east can be stronger. Although it's a late forecast, doesn't look good for tomorrow. Then we've got that northeast east, which it is on Thursday. Small window. There's swell around, a little bit of swell, nothing massive, but swell. And these days, like here, these look okay. I think these look okay. Listening to what he was saying. So
exactly.
I think it's on. That's a good thing.
Actually, what's interesting, can you just scroll along towards this first, second, and third? you just scroll down to the side there, and there's a bit of a bump in swell there and wind, isn't there? So that's kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one to call. I think that's definitely what we're looking at. So that's the way the wind's looking. It's not all bad news. I thought it was, but listening to Graham Ezzy, you know, he's lived there for I don't know how long, doesn't live there full time now, but he knows his stuff. He definitely knows his stuff. And he's also going to be one to watch in the competition as well. No doubt about it. Right, let's go on to the draw. So the draw is out. It looks like a typical single elimination, which, you know, I wasn't sure was going to happen. There was talk of a dingle. There was talk of a single. I think the sailors 100% they voted for single double. So single elimination would be, it's a knockout. You lose, you're out. There's no coming back. And then the double elimination gives you that chance to come back. So that's how it's looking. So first it's going to be a single elimination. And if there's time, if there's conditions, they will run a double elimination. So from now, it's just the top 2 riders from each heat will progress to the next round. So because it's a smaller fleet, if you look, we've got round 1 and then quarterfinals, semi-finals, final. So you have to progress through 1, 2, 3 heats to get in the final.
Yeah. Okay.
First heat, look at that.
Yeah, straight up. I know that's heavy, isn't it? I feel, well, who's your favorites there? I mean, what do you think, Ben?
Well, honest to God, that is already, and you're seeing this, and I knew we would see it straight away. You're going, well, you can make cases for all of them. You know, I would say, well, Kai Lenny, he doesn't need any introduction. One of the best watermen in the world. The last time he did the Aloha Classic, he caused some massive upsets. And for me, he was a standout until the final, or he didn't make the final. But until he had that one heat where he lost, he was looking one of the best. It was, you know, like it was his other heats. I thought, Christ, he could win this. And then he had that. It didn't go well for him in one heat, and he was obviously out. But I thought he was unlucky. He was looking really good. So I would say he's obviously a contender to make finals for sure. Takara Ishii, lots of people talking about this young Japanese rider. Been on the tour. He is a starboard tack sailor. Obviously in Japan, they sail a lot of starboard tack. He's been in Maui a lot. 100%. He knows how to sail the break, and I think even Graham Ezzy, I heard him talking on his group the other day, saying the Japanese kids are flying right now.
Yeah,
so
okay,
that's interesting. And then we got Liam Dunkerbeck, obviously not known for his Maui stuff, but we know he's a great surfer. He's a true competitor. To me, he steps up in the heats, so he's going to be dangerous. You know, in a heats, you know, type of situation, you know, wave sailing only or something like this. If there's starboard tack jumping, I don't think it's going to be as easy for him, but definitely wave riding. He showed some upsets in Cape Verde. I think he showed some real strength in the early rounds. I remember getting some really good wave selection, and he's got moves. And then we got Liam Jammer, and Liam Jammer in Maui, he is like the hell man. If it was big, if it was gnarly, I would be backing him harder. I think in the smaller stuff, he's still capable, definitely. But I think he definitely suits the more gnarly, heavy, hollow hits.
Exactly, yeah. No, that's a bit of a heat of death, that one. I mean, it's that could easily be a strong semi-final, just those 4, or, you know, like, or basically at least 3. Anyway, Liam's probably the least experienced out of all of them, obviously being the youngest one. Well, he is the youngest one, wasn't it? That'd be fair to say. He's younger than Takara, right? But so like
that's
heavy heat, very heavy.
And it's going to be more. Trust me, this is just the start. So then we go heat 2. Like I said, we're going to be able to make cases for nearly every rider in this. And if you are a rider watching this, don't be hurt if we're like not giving you the credit of someone else, because I know, I'll say it now, everyone in this competition can cause upsets. But I'm just going on what we've seen before and trying to play it out. So heat number 2. I think we go to the seeded riders first. Mark Paré, Camille Juban. In that heat, they have to be the favorites. You know, Mark's going for his world title. Camille Ban has performed in Hoopkeeper and every place around the world. You know, Camille's probably a good shout for, you know, lightish wins in Hoopkeeper to maybe even win the event again. You know, he's been out injured for a bit, but coming back, and he'll come back strong. He's obviously small, so he's riding smaller boards. If it's smaller, sometimes that can help, you know, the smaller riders, because the board kind of fits in the pocket a little bit easier, in my experience. He is the aerial master. And then Paré obviously going for his world title. So we're going to look at the other two contenders in that, Marino Gill, Henry Kohlberg.
Henry Kohlberg. Can you? I have to say, I'm not so familiar with him as a sailor. What's his background? What's
young German rider. He actually has been sailing in Maui quite a bit. Stayed with Jake Shetaway. He's like a friend of the family. He'd been staying there years ago. So he did a first lot of his training in Maui, and then going back and doing most of it in Europe and other places around the world. So he would be the lowest seed in this heat. Could he cause an upset? Obviously he could. Everyone can. They're not in this, you know, a World Cup for nothing. They're good sailors, and he's definitely an up and comer. But he's got a hard heat there. It's not easy. And then Marino Gill, obviously we saw him really break into the scene. He's been around for a long time. He's put in some good results, but this year was his kind of breakout year. Challenged Marsilio Brown in Pozo for the win, and you know, and he could have won it. He is firing on port tack. How is his down the line starboard tack? Well, it obviously isn't as good. He hasn't spent as much time in Maui over the years. You know, Mark has been coming here for the last couple of years and really putting in the time. Duotone have, you know, been designing sails and doing a lot of R&D work, whereas Marino, he's had a couple of trips, but it's not been his go-to. So again, he will be, you know, the lower seed in this, but we know how good he is. And, you know, starboard tack down the line, some of these guys prefer riding that way around, even though they don't sail it that often. So I definitely wouldn't count him out, but he's gonna have to put a good heat together. He'll be a danger for sure.
Yeah, okay. And Camille Jabban, well, obviously he's won the event before, so
yeah,
he knows what he's doing. That's for sure. Could you just explain for anyone out there who doesn't know, but what's the actual scoring at the Aloha? Is it jumps and wave, or obviously wave riding? But
yeah, really depends on the conditions. So head judge will make that call on the day or by the heat. So usually, if you start a ladder, unless something changes crazy, that system will stay for the whole, you know, round. Let's say.
Yeah.
But if the wind goes really offshore and you can't jump, they have to get rid of the jump, because it's just you won't be able to jump. But usually they'll look at the conditions. If it's very offshore, if it's light, obviously no jump, probably usually 2 waves minimum. They don't like to do 1 wave unless, I mean, they never like to do 1 wave. It's hard to split. So usually 2 waves. If it's offshore, if it's cross shore and there's wind and there's jumping available, they can put a jump in. We haven't seen that in Maui for a long time. I don't know why. It just seems to be this time of year, it's less jumping. I think in the springtime, it's maybe more jumping. But it's not to say they have been having a little bit more onshore winds recently. So who knows? I'd like to see a jump. I think it would make it interesting. I think it would be easier to judge. I think there's bigger differences there when you add the jump in. But if it's just wave riding only, I think we'll see more upsets. And I think that's also interesting for us watching.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Next up, we have got heat number 3. Again, there is no easy heat, I tell you, because everyone can cause upsets, I'm going to say. So we've got Ross Farrow in this, Robbie Swift, Arthur Arutkin, and Victor Fernandez. You know, your eyes are straight away drawn to Victor Fernandez, Robbie Swift. You know, Robbie Swift lives in Maui. This is his place. He wants a good result at the Aloha. You know, I don't think he wants to finish his career without having a top result at the Aloha, so making the finals. And he'll be pushing hard for that. He's sailing well. He's got all the moves. And he could definitely do it. You know, there's no question about it. Victor Fernandez, you know, Victor, one of the smoothest sailors in the business. He just does everything. Sails really good in Maui. Like I said, with Mark Paré, they've been doing a lot on R&D and testing and sail testing, board testing in Hawaii. He spent a lot of time there. Again, he could get to the finals, no doubt about it. So then really we're going to be talking about Arthur Arutkin, Ross Farrow.
Yeah.
Arthur Arutkin, again, this guy he is one of the top suppers in the world. So, and he's a top wave sailor. He doubles. He's been spending a lot of time in Maui. He's kind of all or nothing. He doesn't back down. He doesn't sail a safe heat. So he's a danger man, and he has been like that for a long time. Sometimes he can have a mare, but usually in a heat, he kind of steps up. So, again, going to be tricky. Arthur Rukin will be very tricky. Again, another duotone team rider. I spent a fair bit of time in Maui. And then Ross Farrow. You probably know more about Ross than me.
Yeah, well, the keeper's his local spot, so I guess he's got that advantage. But obviously not quite at the same level as a Victor Fernandez or Robbie Swift, but he's still a very solid sailor. So again, it's going to be really hard to pick, especially if the waves are smaller and the wind's lighter. Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? So, yeah.
The thing is, well, I was saying, if you are like an unseeded rider or you're not expected to go through, there's some bigger names in the heat, you can throw caution to the wind. You can go for maybe the tricks or the stuff that you might not go for. It doesn't always work well to do that, but sometimes those wild cards, those danger men who have got less to lose, they don't mind crashing out in a heat because they crash. Whereas if you're in a world title, you don't want to try too much stuff and lose just because you didn't do some safe waves. And so those wild card ones, that's why they're always way more dangerous.
Yeah. Got less to lose, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. Less to lose. Right, we're going to flip down the heat. Heat number 4 we've got up. We're going to have a trialist in this heat, so we don't know who that's going to be yet. Could be interesting. And look at the names in this heat. I mean, look at the 2 names who are already, the top seeds in it, you've got to say. Ricardo Campello comes into this final Aloha Classic, leading the world rankings. He's been pretty much leading all year, it feels like. So probably a lot of pressure on him. What we said the other day, he's 37 years old. He's been close before, but he's never won a wave world title. This is his chance. And there'll be a lot of pressure on this heat. And then you look in the heat, Bernd Rodiger. This guy has won the Aloha Classic, I think, a couple of times now. Obviously styles it up at Hukipa. I've seen some video of him, and he just looks silky. He will be, well, no one will want him in your heat. No one wants Bernd Rodiger in your heat, whatever rider you are. That is one guy can make the finals and can win this event. And he does throw caution to the wind. He's not someone who sails safe. I think, again, I feel like he steps up in competition. Usually, I think he's been unlucky from what I've seen on live streams before with the judging. It's been some close heats, and he could have easily been him, and he hasn't gone through. And I think he wants to prove something here in Maui. We've seen him in Cape Verde take the win, with a full fleet of Peterway riders. That starboard tack down the line, it was tricky. It was kind of smallish, wasn't big. So definitely one I'd be putting in the final. He's going to be a tricky one. And then Federico Mauricio.
Yeah, I was going to just put my 5 cents worth in here, but I think this is going to be an interesting heat because the obvious choices here, if you had to choose 2, is Ricardo and Bernd. But Federico has caused a few upsets this year, and he's pretty fired up, and he's been training pretty hard. So I'm really curious to see how this one goes with Federico. He could cause an upset here. He's probably the underdog, but I'm just, who knows? And if he does get through this heat, I really hope there's a camera on him to get his reaction because he'll be so fired up.
And if he gets through that heat, that is a massive heat. I mean, he was the one that called the upsets in Cloudbreak in Fiji, took down Brown, in that heat.
Exactly.
And, that was a huge heat. So, and I keep saying this, I feel like everyone, but he is definitely someone who steps up in competition. I saw him in Pozo where maybe it's not his conditions, but he really leveled up. It was quite.
No, he takes it seriously, and he tries to be really professional. So he's usually pretty well prepared. And just for anyone who missed our podcast yesterday, for the actual world title, there's 3 main players that are in the title race. There's Campello, Brasinho, and Mark Perret. So for those 3 guys, they will probably be feeling a bit of pressure to get through these first few heats, won't they? Because they're already stacked heats to begin with. And for Campello, he basically has to, he's going to have to get through a few of these heats to get the title. That's for sure.
Well, we know if Ricardo wins this competition, he wins a world title. If Marcilio Brown wins it, he wins a world title. But when we look at these heats coming through, you could get knocked out first round. You have to sail well. You can't just coast. You know, there is good players in all these heats, and that is what you're seeing. When you look down here, as we move on to heat number 5 next, again, look at the names. There's some big stack names. So heat number 5, Dieter van der Eycken, Morgan Moreau, Anthony Runes, and Graham Ezzy. So obviously, 2 of those guys are pretty much who keep locals, although Graham Ezzy hasn't been living in Maui for a long time, but he's there for a lot of the year, or at least good chunks of the best bits of the year. So Morgan Moreau, let's firstly move on to him. He's probably the top seed in that. From what I've seen on the videos, he is absolutely ripping right now. He looks in really good form. He's won the Aloha Classic, I think maybe one of the only guys to do it back-to-back.
3 times in total. Yeah,
3 times in total, and he had back-to-back wins, so that's massive. And like I said, he looks in good form at the moment. You know, he hasn't got overall titles to protect or anything like this. He's going to want to win this event. There's no doubt about it. That's what he's got in his mind, and maybe make history. He would have 4 Aloha Classic titles. It would be huge. Then we got Graham Ezzy. Obviously, he's grown up on Maui. He knows how to sail Hookeeper. He's got the wave moves, you know, wave 360s, goiters. He's got some sick turns on him. Again, going to be difficult. And then you've got kind of the wild cards: Anthony Runes, Dieter van der Eycken. Dieter van der Eycken, obviously better known for his freestyle, but he's a top wave sailor. He's a good coach. Probably hasn't sailed Maui that much. But Dieter, if you've ever seen him in freestyle, he levels up in competition, another guy. And that's why they're in the World Cup, because in competition, for me, the level gets better. And Dieter is definitely another one of those guys that seems to, let's say he's 50% on his 360s. He's not, he's more than that. But let's say he's 50%. He will land a 360 in his heat. That's kind of like how he is. If he's not 100% confident in the move, in a heat, he lands it. It's crazy. Or he lands it even better than he would. So again, another one to watch. Anthony Runes, maybe a wild card here. Again, another freestyler, but top wave sailor. He's caused some upsets in silt in the past in some tricky conditions. So definitely wouldn't count him out. He was over in Cloudbreak in Fiji. I think he got through. I think he maybe got through.
No, he's a sick sailor. Yeah, super sick. Yeah. What do you think, Benny, if the waves are small? And then what advantage will some of these freestylers have with their tricks, you know, because obviously you're not going to be able to do huge turns in small waves. So where do you think, you know, where does that come into it, you think?
I think for me, if it's small, it's going to suit, for me anyway, the smaller guys with the smaller boards. That's what I found in the past. Like, it just fit better in the wave, and you can look more radical. When you're a bit bigger, let's, you know, put someone out there, Josh Angulo or someone like this, he rips in small waves, but on bigger waves, he's just got more face to play with. And it's a different style of sailing. When it's bigger, more powerful, I think there's definitely guys that just excel in that. And it's very easy to see. When it's smaller, the level gets closer together. So then it comes down to wave selection, and wave selection will be one of the biggest things to watch for in this. If you get good wave selection and the wave opens up, all these guys are capable of sick turns, good aerials and maneuvers. All of them are capable of that. So it's going to be a lot about wave selection. And that is going to be, I would say, the main interest for the Aloha Classic. It's not just going to be about, you know, doing all that stuff. Wave selection, we see it in surfing all the time. If you don't pick the right wave, you can't perform what you want to do. And there is an element of luck involved. You know, let's not mix it up. There is elements of luck in wave selection. There's a massive element of skill, but there is always that little bit of luck that the wave maybe just opens up on you or something. And that can be very exciting. You know, a lot of people maybe want to watch windsurfing, and I see a lot of people tuning into the live stream going, oh, they're not playing in, this isn't windsurfing. For me, I do find it exciting, the sort of cat mouse, the chess game that's happening, positioning yourself on the wave if you're leading the heat, you know, so other people can't take the waves, but you don't want to go in on a wave and leave them out there waiting, because who knows, a set could come. So there's a lot of stuff going on, which maybe if you're not used to watching wobble and ride, which we could see in Hookeeper this year, again, the way the forecast pans out, it can be a different style of excitement. Like I say, it's more like chess style of tactics and stuff, and then you've got to perform it on the wave.
No, it's a good point. I mean, especially if it's small, you're probably going to find that the good waves are few and far between, I imagine.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting battle.
Oh
Heat
my
6.
God. Oh my God. If we look at this coming into view, see the name. Wow. So Levi Siver, Antoine Martin, Hayata Ishii, and Antoine Albert. Wow.
Man,
so
heavy.
that to me is a heavy heat. Again, going on what I've heard as well, Hayata Ishii, only a junior at the moment, probably 17, 18 years old. I actually have to check that, but young rider. But if you saw his Maui video he dropped even a few years ago when he was 16 or 15, it is insane. The guy has all the moves. He has aerials, the turns. He's small. He's light. He will be a danger man in this heat.
Big dark horse. Big dark horse.
We've got Antoine Albert, again, better known for his freestyle in terms of world ranking, but he is right up there in the overalls actually at the moment.
He's another one that, I mean, look, he's got to get past Antoine, Levi, and Hayata, so bloody hard ask, but he shreds.
He's ranked 10th in the PWA rankings overall at the moment. Finished 5th in Fiji.
This heat's insane. This is actually a super hard heat. Yeah.
And then we've got the two sort of heavy hitters, without even being disrespectful to the other two, who are pretty freaking heavy hitters. Antoine Martin, Levi Siver. Obviously, Levi now not doing the tour, but, and there's a massive but, he lives on Maui. He has done everything on Maui. This is one of the legends of the sport, without even doing that much competition. So to be a legend of the sport without doing so much competition, I would say is almost even harder. So that just shows how much that guy rips, how much respect he has throughout all the riders, and he'll be eyeing up a victory. Did he won one in the end, the lower classic? Did he win one? Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm sure he has.
I'm pretty sure it was like everyone was saying, how has he not won a lower classic? I'm pretty sure.
I'll look it up while you're chatting away. Let's have a look.
2013. There you go.
2013 was it? Yeah, okay. Wow, you're quick.
2013.
Yeah, well, Levi Siver needs not a lot of introduction, does he? I mean, this heat and then Antoine Martin, man, it's heavy. Super heavy. I mean, it's actually going to be super fascinating to see how these play out. I'm going to feel sorry for some of the losers in this, because that could easily, just that heat alone could easily be either a semi or a final on its own.
Yeah. Well,
isn't it?
Antoine Martin, 2019, he won the Aloha Classic. So we've got, in this heat, we've got two Aloha Classic past champions. Heat number 6. Antoine Martin still has a chance to go for the title this year. He's obviously going to need things to, as we said yesterday, he's going to need things to pan out for him. He would need Marcilio Brown to mess up, Ricardo and Paré. Not an easy ask. He's got a lot of things that are out of his control. But what he can do is win this competition and then see what happens, because we're talking about winning the world title, but even a podium, that is solid. If you get a podium on that's pretty impressive. And just winning the Aloha Classic on its own, I mean, that's just huge anyway. You might not even care where you come in the overall. If you win the Aloha Classic, it's like, how did you get on last year? You wouldn't even mention the world rankings. You go, won the Aloha Classic. Pretty good.
Well, I mean, Cloudbreak had the amazing waves, but this has the most stacked field. So I'd say that, whoever wins this is going to be the most chuffed, basically, aren't they?
Yeah. We did some quiz the other day. It's like, I think Nick Baker was the first European sailor to win the Aloha Classic. That was in 1999. And then I'm just looking down the list. Then it depends, because it is a bit blurry. It wasn't PWA and some were PWA. But in terms of PWA, I don't think Josh Angulu, Morgan Nero, Kevin Pritchard, Antoine Martin, does he class as French or Guadeloupe? There's not really been another one who has won it. There's been AWT events that Alex Mussolini, 2005, it says here. Japan, he's won a couple of AWTs. It's very difficult how to explain the Maui event because it hasn't always been PWA, but still in terms of a Aloha Classic, It's interesting.
I'm just having a look. Robbie Nash is the has the most wins at the Aloha, which is interesting. Yeah, old legend.
Well, I'll pull that up in a minute. Is that Wikipedia one?
Yeah.
We'll have a look at that in a minute. We'll just go through the rest of these heats. Also got women's heats to go through, but heat number 7. Julian Salmon, Takuma Sugi, Adam Varchol, and Jake Shetaway. This seems to be a battle of the young guns, doesn't it? You know, obviously not all of them juniors anymore, but they're only not far out of the juniors, you know, low 20s and high teens. Interesting heat. Obviously, Julian Salmon lives on Tenerife, solid sailor. Not sure how much experience he's got in starboard tack down the line. That would worry me. I don't think he would be the top seed to go through. I know how talented he is. And these guys, if they just have a couple of days warm up, you know, maybe he's regular footed surfer. I actually don't know, but sometimes you don't need to sail a lot of down the line to be actually okay at it, especially if it's small. Takuma Sugi. Now, he has won the junior event here, the youth event at Hukipa, busting out goiters and all this sort of stuff. He's a starboard tack rider. He knows how to sail Hukipa 100%. So he's going to be one to watch. Adam Varchol, obviously Polish. He lived in Tarifa for a bit. He's now living in Pozo, but he was also living in Maui. You've obviously seen that video, the biggest wipeout of Jaws ever. You seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Monster. That was Adam Varchol sailing Jaws.
Insane.
Absolutely smashed.
Crazy.
I think he was living with Jason Pryor or hanging out with Jason Pryor and these guys. So, you know, that's pretty crazy, man. He's going to be crazy. And then we got Jake Shetaway. Jake Shetaway is, you know, he is a talent, young talent, lives on Maui. He will be 100% one to watch. I think at the last one, he was right up there and causing some upsets. He can do some damage on starboard tack down the line.
This is another tough heat to call.
Yeah, you shouldn't sleep on Jake Shetaway. I mean, he could cause some problems, definitely.
Takuma is an amazing sailor. Julian's a very good sailor. I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Adam personally. Obviously, you see the massive Jaws wipeout. Jake Shetaway, I didn't get to see a lot of him in Fiji because he didn't get through to the semis or, you know, beyond. But that's
kind of port tack down the line. So, you know what I mean? Starboard tack down the line. I think that's when we're going to see Jake Shetaway on his home break. I've seen him in the IWT, and he has caused some problems. Just for people who wanted to see this, I'm just gonna.
So Takuma and Jake, they're probably, you think they're the standouts there in that heat.
Yeah, but Julian and Adam, I think, you know, the seeded riders, just so you know, are usually the second place and the fourth place in the heat from what I've seen so far, because in the seeding, that's how they'll be seeded. But in saying that, Adam may be seeded. I have to check how they've done the seeding. But just for people who haven't seen this wipeout, it's very much worth watching. I'm just going to play the Jake Shetaway. I mean, you cannot not play this.
It's amazing. Huge wave. How he survived this is just insane. Look at the size of it. Oh, my God. Look at the size of that wave.
I don't know, but I'm not.
It's so solid, isn't it? It's triple mast.
Check the surfer.
It's funny, Cal doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Oh, this is Jason.
Yeah, Ty and Jason.
So just for anyone audio only, just watching a bit of Jason Polikow and.
That was the same session.
Yeah, that was the same session. I think I just added it on. It was on this in the back. Here it is.
Oh
what's
my
the surfer
God!
top left? Man, what's the surfer? He got.
I don't think.
Is he okay? That's my favorite bit.
The video is terrifying just watching it, but you know what it's like when you're standing on a board looking at a wave. That thing is just out of this world. It's huge. I can't even imagine what you'd be going through in that position. You'd be absolutely shitting yourself. I would
So
be.
scary. It's so scary. I mean,
It's just
like,
amazing.
is he okay? And he goes, I don't know, but I don't want to be there.
It's insane. It's insane. I mean, you can get yourself in a position like that on a heavy mast high wave or a bit beyond. You know, if it's pitching like that with a heavy lip, you know, only mast high plus, and it can already be a bit, you know, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah.
That's triple mast. That is triple mast high. I mean, yeah, it's beyond comprehension.
So he's got the
basically
balls.
for me.
Let's put it that way. Adam Bartel
Yeah.
has the balls, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how these heats plan out. And then the last heat of the first round, again, look
Oh
at
my
this.
God.
This is ridiculous.
I forgot about these guys. Oh my God, we still got all them.
Heat 8. Just
Oh.
for people who don't know, there's a trialist in this heat, and there is also Jules Denel, who can smash it, Thomas Traversa, who doesn't need any introduction, and Marsilio Brown. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Brown probably is the top tip to win this event. Well, he's saying that. Is he? He is obviously one of the best guys in Hookkeeper, but in terms of competition, you expect him to make the final. But then you're also looking, you think, well, Thomas Traversa, you know, there'll be people backing him 100%. Jules Denel, we know, is an all-round ripper. And we've seen him in Cape Verde. He looked good. Brown, obviously, you're thinking he's going to get through, but if something doesn't go his way, if he doesn't get his waves, it could happen. And obviously, the winners of this heat go through to the next round from the winners of the previous round.
It's going to be really interesting because you want basically Pere, Campello, Marsilio, they all have to get through a few. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out as well. I almost feel a bit sorry for the guys that they're going to have to go through so much pressure to get the title. But I guess that's from a viewer's point of view. That's where the fun is. But yeah,
I love it.
I love it. No, it's going to be interesting.
Okay, and we just move on to the women. So women's heats at the moment are as follows. The top half of this draw looks pretty stacked with locals. So heat number 1 in the women, we've got Angela Cochran, Jane Seaman. This is like I'm not being rude. This is like a blast from the past, isn't it? This could be like literally, it could be almost a 2000.
It's insane how long some of these women have been at the top of their game for.
Yeah, Angela Cochran, Jane Seaman, Jessica Crisp, and Shauna Kroppus. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me just get my Wikipedia page.
Well, I'm actually on there right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
Jessica Crisp won the wave 1994, or the Kimsey Maui World Cup, but that's just one of it.
The
Andrea
Aloha,
Cochran, 1989.
1989. She won in 1989, 1990, 1991. 3 years in a row.
Wow.
God, that's a while ago now, 1989, and she's still competing today. But that's insane. Well done to her.
That is insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Jessica Crisp won it last year. So,
well, Jessica Crisp won it last year, but she was definitely competing way back, probably in those years. I was guessing. I mean, I could have sailing with her.
Yeah, I wonder. I thought she won it, back in the 90s as well, but it's not listed there on Wikipedia, so I'm not sure what the story is there.
Kendall, it's around that time when she was on the tour. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, impressive.
Yep. There was an event called the Maui Invitational, which was
overall. Yeah. Sorry, Maui.
Yeah. So, and also the Chimsey World Cup in Maui in 94, 95, Jessica Crisp. So Jessica Crisp has been around a while as well. Incredible.
That's mad, isn't it? That's absolutely mad.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jane Seaman, she's been ripping it out for years. And Shauna Kroppus, that is a really tricky first heat. Really tricky. Oh. That's going to be an interesting one.
Super stacked. Yep. Jane's does a lot of sailing, She charges in all different size waves, although they're not probably going to get big waves, but definitely goes for it.
Yeah. Heat 2 is a little bit of well, a changing up, because this is the young guns coming through. Got Soul Degree, who's like 14 years old, just turned 14, who we've seen in Fiji. She's been Peru. She's been Posa. She's been everywhere. And she is definitely a star now, but a star in the future, 100% future world champion. I will put some money on it now, the way she's sailing. Maria Berens, obviously second in silt this year. There's been wave riding only with silt this year, and she proved wave riding only. She is a force to be reckoned with. How will she get on Maui? We'll have to wait and see. And then Sarah Hauser, obviously, she's been ripping up Maui for years from New Caledonia, but now lives in Maui. And she is definitely one to watch. Could she win a world title? If there's any mistakes from the leading crew at the moment, she might have a chance. You know,
definitely.
It's like that. You never know in Maui.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Try this in there as well.
I've got a I don't know if you want to break. I've got a little clip here from Sarah Hauser at registration night. Just quickly, I'll throw on.
Yeah, chuck it in.
Is it happening? Oh, Sarah Hauser. Oh.
Another year in the Aloha Classic. Tell us, how do you feel about the event?
Finally here, it's happening. So excited. Can't wait for it to begin tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Not a hell of a lot there. But
No,
obviously in good spirits.
I was about to say, she looks happy. She's got Casey back on the island as well. So that's definitely going to be motivation as well. So I think interesting. She's going to want to win this. I just want to quickly have a look.
Definite favorite.
Where have I got my list of results from? Yeah, Sarah Hauser, 17, 18. She won the Aloha Classic, so she's going to want to win a PWA. I think the IWT is the one she's won here, but I think the actual PWA she hasn't won yet. So I think that will definitely be on her bucket list. So keep your eye on Hauser. And then we've got heat number 3, Lena Erpenstein, Val Lopez, Maria Andres, and Lena Vindup. Maria Andres has a chance of a world title. She has to beat Sarah Kita. If she wins the event, I think she wins the world title. If Sarah Kita is top 2.
That's right. Yeah, I was actually just going to go back to that PWA website to have a look at that, but that sounds familiar. Yeah.
So Maria Andres, got a bit of pressure on her, but she sailed in Maui quite a bit over the years. Good sailor. Val Lopez, that's a new name for me. I might have to ask you about her. I think she might have been in Peru, but I could be wrong, or it could be
sorry, because I was just trying to search for the PWA website. So which name, sorry?
Val Lopez.
No, I don't. She's not familiar to me either, actually.
Okay. So we'll have to do some reading up on her. I thought I might know everyone, but obviously I don't. Lena Erpenstein, she was definitely disappointed with silt. She could have been really in line for a world title this year, and it really suited her. But Maria Berings was one took her out in the first round, and it was kind of a bit of an upset. But Erpenstein, that world title now, looking quite hard to get, but she's going to want to put a good show in Maui. Don't think she's done a lot of sailing in Maui, but again, very powerful rider and one to watch. And then we've got Lena Vindup from Denmark. Again, not think she's sailed that much in Maui, so it'll be new for her. It might be a tricky one, but you've got to start somewhere. You've got to get over to Maui. You've got to experience it, and later down the line, I'm sure we're going to be seeing her popping up.
Yep. I'm actually just looking at Val Lopez now. She seems to be a very good surfer as well. So obviously very good in the waves in general. I have to do a bit more research on her. Sorry, Val.
Yeah, sorry, Val. And then the last heat. So there's 4 heats. Last heat is Marine Hunter, Coco Vavo, Sarah Kita Offringer, and a trialist. So that will be the last heat of the round. Marine Hunter obviously won in silt this year. She likes down the line. She likes riding only. Could be a bit of a name to watch out for. She'll be very confident after silt. Then Coco Vavo, she had one of the gnarliest crashes I've ever seen in Poso this year. Captured it from the drone, smashed all her lip up. But she's been a few places. She was over in Fiji. I think she was in Peru. I think Morgan's been helping her out quite a bit. So again, she could be definitely one. They're all one to watch, but you know, these are the ones that could cause the upset if they find their groove. And then obviously Sarah Kita, the last time she was in Maui, she won the Aloha Classic, which was 2019. Jessica Crisp, I heard, won it last year. I don't think Sarah Kita was here then. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Sarah Kita, the last time she was here was 2019 and she won it. So she's got good memories from Maui. Will it suit her? Will the conditions suit her this time? We will have to wait and see. If you have just tuned in, I think we've already covered it. The weather forecast is actually okay. It's small, but it's okay. That's what we're hearing. And actually, as I say that, we do have a comment just coming in. I think you clicked on it at the same time.
I did, yeah.
Val Lopez.
Yeah, Maui local sailor. She's a good wave rapper. She will join the Aloha Classic this year. Yeah, great. Oh, it'll be good to find out more about Val.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but also, yeah, for the women, it's really tricky to pick. But for the overall titles between Sarah Kita and Maria Andres, they basically have to win the event over the other one to, or at least beat the other one to. Although, sorry, Sarah Kita has obviously got the points lead. Yeah. So Sarah Kita is going to have to, or Maria's going to have to win it, and Sarah Kita
outside the top two.
Top two, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. That is the draws. That's how it's looking. Don't worry about the forecast. Graham Ezzy has told me it's not going to be big, but it should be doable. They've just had Kona wins, and they didn't compete or try and compete in this. So my theory is they must have okay forecasts. They didn't want to use a day of the 5-day window to try it in marginal port tack, very setty, very light winds. Obviously, it was good enough to sail, but they are obviously confident they are going to get conditions. So that is how it's looking. That's our rundown. Anything else to add, Mr. Van Bellen?
No, really look forward to this. It's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. We'll finish the podcast. I'll just put I've got a behind the scenes video from the registration. It goes for about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'll end the podcast with that, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, sounds good, man. Thanks for joining in. We're going to try and do something every day. Some days might be smaller. Sorry. Some days might be longer. That was meant to be 20 minutes. We're at 50 minutes. I mean, we're sticking to the usual. Well, we started with 3 hours a few weeks ago, so. Let us know in the comments if you like this sort of thing. If you don't, well, don't watch it. Cool, guys. All right. See you next time. Organizer of the Aloha Classic, Sam, tell us how things are going.
Well, I just love setting up country flags and seeing all the representation from around the world. It's really magical, isn't it?
Lena Erpenstein, what a legend from Germany, coming here all the way. Thanks, Sam. Tell us, how do you feel about being in Maui for the Aloha Classic?
Being back here in like the first time since 4 years is pretty epic. We've been enjoying some good days on the water already, and I'm really excited to hopefully show what we've learned. So
Antoine Albert, you've had an amazing year. You're killing it overall. This is a huge thing for you. How are you feeling coming into the Aloha Classic Grand Final?
Yeah, super happy. It's gonna be my first time in the Aloha Classic, and looking forward for great competition, and hopefully we're gonna get some win and waves. So yeah, super excited about it.
You've come all this way, Tito. You've been over in Ireland, you've been traveling around the world with all of your camps and your incredible things. You've been sailing on the World Tour, and here you are at the Grand Final. How did you get here? What's it all about?
I just came to have a good time, see the final, see the showdown of the world title, and have some fun myself. I don't have expectations, I just want to have fun.
Robbie Swift, tell us about your time in Aloha Classic. Why is this year going to be special for you?
Well, it's special for me this year. It's always special. It's an awesome event to do, and I've done it every year that I've been able to since, I think, 99. And this year it has to count, which I think is really cool for the World Tour because it makes it really exciting. The last event before has been able to be a discard, which it's not able to be this year. So I'm hoping that the conditions play ball. The organisations here, everything seems awesome. I think we've got a really good media package this year, and the waves are definitely going to be here. The wind looks a bit dodgy, but it's Maui and it gets windy in the drop of a hat. So I think we'll be good.
I reckon it's all going to come good. There you go. It's a simple question. Why are you here?
I'm here.
Why are you here? Because he's here to win!
Jane, so
Hello. I'm happy that I've had some starboard tack sailing before the event this time. So I feel my sailing, has gotten a little bit better here, but who knows what her keeper will offer.
Victor, so many times world champion, such a legend. You're back here again at the Aloha Classic. It's wonderful to have you. Tell us, what's special about this year?
Well, this year we had many events with the Unified Tour, so it's really special. And I'm really happy to be back in the Aloha Classic since 2019, having participated. So I hope for good conditions and a big show from everyone.
It feels amazing. I'm really excited for the Aloha Classic. It's my first time. And registration's going well so far. A lot of famous people here. So let's get this started.
Good as ever. Definitely excited for the conditions that we have. Grateful that we'll be able to sail. We'll see how it goes.
Anthony Ruins, all the way from France. Tell us, how do you feel about being at the Aloha Classic?
Sick. I'm really happy to be here, and really happy. I mean, great. It's Hawaii, and what else? Sun, wave, wind. I hope we're gonna get magical. I hope we're gonna get great condition, and really happy about it.
Jake Shadoway, you're here, and you're excited?
And I'm excited, and I'm ready.
Noiro, 3 times Aloha Classic champion. How do you feel going into this big one?
Good, we've had I've been here since Silk, and then we've had some pretty good days to practice, and I don't know how the week will shape up condition-wise, but I mean, I've sailed Hokipa in every condition imaginable, so it doesn't really matter too much, but gear feels good, I feel good, I'm healthy, no problems, so let me good.
Coco, straight into it. Aloha Classic, here we are.
Yes.
You've changed your sponsors, you're killing it on the World Tour, and here you are in the Grand Final. How do you feel?
I'm really happy to be there and being able to do my first competition with my new sponsors, Gunsails and Africa. I'm really proud to be in this new team, and I cannot wait to go on the water and have great competition.